Good afternoon, students. In the previous video, you have learned about the source of information, in which you know how the historian used in writing about the last 250 years of Indian history. In the sources of information, we can go out the main points like the administrative record, literary sources, and today we will learn the remaining sources. First of all, the Britisher at that time set up the record room. I want to say here that it means at that times all the important documents and letter were preserving in the record room. Not only the Britishers, the other important person at that time like the village Tahsildar office, the collectorate, the commissioner office and the law court all had their record rooms. Museum and archives were also established to preserve the important record at that time. So we can write here that at that time the Britisher set up record rooms for preserving important documents and letters. Okay, now we can see here that the next important sources is the newspaper. At that time, newspaper are another important literary sources. They are very important as they capture the spirit of the time. The newspaper carry the news, cartoons, and letters, editorials, and even advertisement. And many newspapers have kept their old tradition in the form of microfilm in archives. So this is our next point. You can write here newspaper are another important literary sources. What did the newspaper carry at that time? The newspaper carry what I've said now. The newspaper carry news, cartoons, letters, editorials, and even advertisement. Okay, children, up to here it is clear. Now our next point is that the other important resource including like the National Archives. In the National Archives of India, built in the 1920s, there are innumerable documents available for the period under study. They are actually proceeding of meeting of document, officers, diary, and what it to be say, letters, eyewitness account, and the record of court proceeding. So you can write here. The next point is the National Archives. The National Archives of India built in the 1920s, in which innumerable documents are available there. So in the next point we can say here the National Museum, that is also set up in India. You can write here the next source is the National Museum. The National Museum, in New Delhi. So here it is said the National Museum in New Delhi has preserved many coins, painting, weapons, jewelries and other artifact of the period. So here it is, you can write here in the National Museum in New Delhi, it protect means it want to preserve. You can write here in the National Museum in New Delhi has preserved many coins, paintings, weapons, then the jewelry and other artifact of the period. This is also one type of source of information that the historian used at that time. And the another important museum is the Salarang Museum. You can write that point also. You can write in the next para the Salarang Museum. It is in Hyderabad. Museum in Hyderabad has a collection of over 43,000 art objects and about 50,000 books and manuscript. And this collection included the Indian art, European art and the children art and a rare manuscript section also. So you can write here in this museum the collection included. You can write here the main point also. The collection includes Indian art, European art, and children arts also. Okay. Now up to here it is clear that in the Salarang Museum there are a large number of collections of the art objects and the books there, and it including the Indian art, European art and the children art. Now our next point is the about the, it is also the main sources including like the surveying and mapping. In the next video I will explain you about the survey and mappings. Up to here here is the main point that you have to read it, and if you have any type of confusion you can query to me. Okay, thank you class.